well, we've been through a few tumultuous years, that's for sure. And that's still ongoing. We're living through some uh, challenging economic times, and that certainly will spill into the mindset of employees in organizations. So what would be what do we see as the outlook for what leaders can do to effectively navigate these rough waters that we're still in?
And I think with the stresses that we have now in terms of getting qualified employees in workplaces, um, I think employers have to really put their money where their mouth is on the diversity and inclusion piece. So, we need diverse employees to be creative, to deal with the kind of challenges that individual companies and organizations are facing in these times. And, if you're going to hire diverse people, leaders need to know how to work with diverse people in their workplace, neurodiversity, racial diversity, gender diversity. So there are lots of different biases that, each of us has as leaders, our employees have as leaders, and our systems have as leaders. So the systems themselves actually have a lot of embedded bias in them. So as leaders today, this notion of conscious leadership isn't just an esoteric idea. It's actually, can I become aware of, conscious of, how the systems in my workplace are actually excluding some voices? Where are the voices that I am not hearing? Who's even not here? Because I haven't even hired them in my workplace yet. So a lot of these efforts are very practical ways of bringing conscious leadership to a workplace, and become really important as we're having aging out of a population and new people coming into our workplaces who have different concerns too, Michelle.
And we've learned a lot about that. With I don't know what Gen it is anymore. It was Gen X, and then it's whenever the next one is. But they're not willing to sacrifice their lives to give their firstborns or to the company. They want to have a great workplace, to do work that's meaningful, and they want to have a life. So they won't put up with being invited or being asked to be out of balance, to work 12 and 15-hour days, and they won't stay, and the good employees won't stay if we don't provide a place where there's balance. And I'm also thinking, though, that the commitment of leaders needs to go not just inside the organization, but it's as corporate citizens and in service to the broader community of the world. Actually, we know that we're hearing so much about climate change and our eco consciousness. So how do we bring all of that consciousness? And I think a lot of our employees, the new employees, are really interested in being part of that. That touches a purpose for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle, on this notion of corporate social responsibility. I think a lot of young people today are making choices about who they work for based on those kinds of concerns. And again, not just lip service. So what do we really do? How are we really changing what we're doing in our particular workplace that actually supports the communities of concern? And also around the diversity and the workplace diverse employees. Corporations or employers can sit back and say, oh, well, I can't find them. Or you can say, if you're really embedded in and believe in this as a value, you actually are going to begin to bring in young students. You're going to help develop the people who are going to work in your workplace through, and we've been doing work on mentoring programs. Or you might even mentor in the community, not necessarily just in your workplace. So how do you actually actively engage with some of the concerns and issues that our young employees are bringing to our workplace, and how do we get them to be creative with us about what we could do, because they're full of ideas, and we need to really seriously engage that creativity in our workplace, whether it's a government workplace or a private sector or healthcare. All have possibilities to contribute and make not just the workplace healthy, but their communities healthy too.
So one of the things we often ask is, what conversations are missing right now that you need to have in your organizations, outside of your organizations, to help you to be successful, to people within there and to communities at large to be able to grow and thrive?